On the day you died, I sat next to a stranger. "How was your day?" she asked. "Well, my favorite musician died." "Your family physician died?" I corrected her, but in all truth, was she the one who should have been correcting me? Because this man, Michael Hurley, was in fact my family physician. Spiritual medicine, a different kind of solution. Musical health and wellness for all of the people who I've seen and known and traipsed this world with. Started a long time ago. First time I ever heard him, in a kitchen, through the guitar and the singing of another. Not any kind of kitchen, my own kitchen. It was 2009 in the deep fall in Olympia, Washington, in a place next to the Interstate 5. I fell asleep to the noise of that freeway every night, thinking, oh, it's like a river. And the house was like a river too, doors always open, people pouring in, singing songs into the late night. We brewed wine and cooked meals from the beautiful bounty of the Olympia food pantry, and every can of beans was involved in stews upon stews, as somebody sang. I went down to the pool hall, clickety-clack, you can knock those pool balls forth and back. I don't want you hanging around my little sister no more. It was the season of that song, Home, Home, let me go home. Home is wherever I'm with you. And it was the season of this sort of burgeoning familialness, kitchen rock folk madness, and someone sat in my kitchen leaning against the refrigerator and played that beautiful, happy melody that some man in Astoria, Oregon had conjured. Some man in Astoria, Oregon named Michael Hurley. Yeah, those beautiful songs sounded in my ears, and they taught me something about family. Family is not who you're born with, but who you find as you're wandering these wild wildernesses. And the Northwest spanned out for miles. To the south, you lived, in the town where they filmed The Goonies. And to the west, the waters crashed on the shores. And to the north was something like Canada, Seattle, fishing moorage. And east was this whole other place, this New York that somehow you were involved in, far, far away in the 1960s. And in that time, a lot of your kind were still milling about vigorous. And they told me that you were vigorous, that whenever you showed up at a show in a basement or a bar, you were flirtatious. You laid it on thick with the ladies like me, freshly 18, leaving my home for the first time, entering into a world of folkdom, and that you would come to these places and give it your all in these little weird bike messenger caps, in a time when bike messenger was the penultimate occupation for many kind of people that I knew and was spending time with. So in 2011, I sent you an email, and that email read something like, Monsieur, I am hoping that I can send you a letter to invite you to something. And what I wanted to invite you to, Michael Hurley, was to just come play a show in our house. And you sent me back your physical address in Astoria, Oregon, and I sent you a letter. And the letter was asking if you would come and play. You sent me a letter in return, which, do I have it? I don't know. Where would it have gone? But it read something like, sure, I'd love to do that. I'll go anywhere for $300. And I remembered that. To this day, it's 2025. And the venue will be hard-pressed to pay somebody $300 even now, but I like that, and I noticed that about you. I said, this man has standards, but he's also extremely accessible. And we wanted you to like us. We wanted you to like us. So we couldn't come up with the money, and we couldn't have you come up and play. But the fact that you even answered, the fact that you, the star of our hearts, the star who sung that song, the tea song, who sung that song, the werewolf song, who sung those songs about the blue driver. Where do you roam? Searching the endless highway for shoulder to cry on. For shoulder to cry on. Dun, 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 dun. Driving down to Portland, Oregon. Foot upon the throttle. Watching the old smoke roll, looking out the rearview mirror driving through Northern California with a bunch of hooligans in a van. The highway patrol. For the highway patrol. Are they going to catch us with our drugs? Are they going to catch us with our drink? We don't know, but we had your soundtrack to make it all the merrier. Michael Hurley. Guess what happened next? I moved around. I started roaming this country, living in different cities. New Orleans, they knew your name. They knew your name in Los Angeles. Of course they knew that your name well and good in Seattle. Of course they sung your songs on Orcas Island. Of course, because you were the soundtrack, you were the fabric, and me, a woman, and the ladies who I gaggled around with, we all wanted to be the waitress of your fantasies. We all wanted to be the waitress of your fantasies. Little waitress that I love, she had come and gone. She had come and gone. We wanted to be the material that you would write something about. I molded myself to please you, Michael Hurley. I molded myself to please you, whether I knew it or not. And moving to New York City was certainly another stretch of that muscle. First song I learned on fiddle. Not that I know how to play very well at all. Not that I know anything about it. Is good old Hog of the Forsaken. You must have had an interesting day when the makers of the television show Deadwood called you up on the phone and said, we're using your song for our credits for this Western. Wild Bill Hickok, Montana, the Wild West, baby. You were scoring it because you lived on edge of reason in Astoria, Oregon, perched above a Goonies nightmare, perched above the canneries, perched in a town named for a fur trapper, a millionaire, a billionaire of epic proportions, the likes of which we see today every freaking step of the way. I moved to New York City and I thought I was going to die. No plans. Met the first people I could and got in a living room with them. Started to play some songs. First one I whip out. Well, the hog of the forsaken, he swims out into the sea. Catch the alligator, mullet chomps the leaping, mullet chomps the water hyacinth, blow into the sea. And he ain't even worried yet, the hog of the forsaken. He is the hog for me. We don't know the lyrics to that song. It's hard to learn the lyrics to that song. I've been trying for 8 years to memorize the lyrics to the Hog of the Forsaken, but they don't make any sense, Michael Hurley. You brought them up, you brought them down, you switched them around, you make them crazy. What logic compels you to write things like, that old ghost woman, well, she keeps me thin. Takes all the money that I get from the L&N. Oh, I saw you grace the stage of Grace Cathedral in Brooklyn, New York. I saw you grace the pages of the New Yorker magazine. I brought my little sister to see you, and we sat up in the rafters, and they didn't know who they were seeing, her and her friend, but I tell you, my sister, I tell you, my sister's friend, this is God incarnate. This is a version, because this man not only writes these songs that are so averse to any kind of logic that even a song memorizer who prides herself on learning lyrics can't learn the lyrics. This man makes his own album art. He has a whole aesthetic fiefdom of his own design. He's made it so that we can make it. Do you see the significance of this glorious angel who came down from the heavens or up from the bogs and simply did what he knew how to do and did not ask anyone's permission to be a complete freak? Last year, just sitting in front of the Bolinas or Point Reyes or whatever post office, picking tunes with buddies across the street from where you cut your first record, the right exact building in Northern California. I see vestiges of you wherever I go. Every musician I know, who I bond with, who I vibe with, who we jam together until the dawn. We have one thing in common. We have one thing in common. We have one thing in common. And it's a big heart with your name on it. It's a big heart with your name on it. The big heart with your name on it. You have named my heart. You have crowned it. I will never let your memory wither into some sort of vestige of the 20th century. You are more than that. Transcendent, vivid, electric. I told you once and I told you twice. Why be mean when you can be nice? Come on, be kind to me. Can't you see? Dun, 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 dun. I'm in a misery. Oh, you yodeled. You brought no hesitation to your blues, Michael Hurley. You brought no hesitation to your blues, and you did it for us. You did it for the people. You smoothly maneuvered the strange contours of American life and of freakdom and of folk stardom and anti-stardom, and you never wavered in your religiosity for the ultimate glorious colorific snockdom. You made your own reality. Dogs gambling, crickets baying, extreme nights in kitchens with redheads. Do you know why I live like I do? Do you know why I live like I do? Writing songs, putting words on paper, drawing things, cutting pumpkins out of watercolored images that I, by my own paintbrush, create. I paint a design because you painted a design. I paint a design because you painted a design. You never let me down, and there's always more. You re-recorded your songs. You never let them stay stagnant, and you never stop playing, you punk rock motherfucker. I will never forget you, and I know that you have died and you have moved on, but the world's glimmering with Michael Hurley. Every shard of industry, every township laced with your American eye. Family physician. Deep was the medicine that from your lyrics plunged into the core of me and made me who I am today. And I do not speak for all of those people I've met along the way who know your words and who play them with me, but the hug I feel from my kindred on this, the day of your painting, of your passing, and the day after, and the day after, and the day after, is nothing nothing short of a holy modal miracle. I'm glad to have walked this earthly plane with you, Michael Hurley. I love you. That's your eulogy.